think people are going to be really surprised.
Okay, so even before we get to, Jack Dawson and all that, let's rewind a bit.
Okay.
Did you know that DiCaprio started acting as a kid?
Oh, yeah? I mean, he was.
Like commercials and TV shows like Growing Pains?
Practically born for the screen, I think.
It's hard to imagine him as anything other than,
I know.
a huge movie star.
Yeah.
But he had to start somewhere.
He did well. And it's interesting, though, because, he was in those things, but the role that really put him on the map as a serious actor was in this boy's life.
Oh, yeah?
Alongside the legendary Robert De Niro.
Wow.
And it's really this film that kind of showed his raw talent. This wasn't just another team role.
Right.
This was a dramatic performance that showed that he was capable of so much more.
Yeah. And that talent definitely did not go unnoticed.
No, it didn't.
Because at just 19 years old,
yeah,
he snagged an Oscar nomination for What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Oh, absolutely. And that's such a...
Playing Johnny Depp's intellectually disabled brother.
Yes, exactly. And I think that role was so important because it showed right away that he was more than just a pretty face.
Absolutely.
He had this incredible depth and range as an actor.
Yeah, and that early recognition, I think, allowed him to be really selective about the roles that he took on.
Absolutely.
And I think it helped him to kind of avoid that teen idol trap that a lot of young actors can fall into.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
So he was already, building this reputation for taking on challenging roles, and then 1997 came around.
Yes.
And everything changed.
Titanic. I mean, it was a global phenomenon.
It was a phenomenon.
It really was.
I mean, DiCaprio mania was real.
Oh, it's totally real.
It was real. And instead of, shying away from it, he really used that fame in a very strategic way.
Oh, he did. I mean, think about it. His next film was The Beach, and he commanded a $20 million paycheck.
Wow.
For that film. And, it wasn't just about the money. I think it was more about sending a message to Hollywood that he was a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
He had the power to choose his projects, and the studios were willing to pay a premium for him.
Yeah, and he didn't just chase those easy paychecks.
He didn't.
He didn't get stuck in those romantic lead roles.
Nope. He kept pushing himself.
He took on more mature roles.
Yes, he did.
Diverse roles. For example, Catch Me If You Can.
Yes.
He played a con artist in that film.
And he was brilliant in it.
Yeah, showing his range.
Absolutely showing that he could do more than just break hearts.
He could do it all.
He could.
And it really seems like he was deliberately avoiding being typecast after Titanic.
Oh, I think he was. I mean, he wanted to be known as a serious actor, not just a heartthrob.
Right, and I think this desire to really push himself even further led him to a collaboration that was really pivotal in his career.
His partnership with the iconic Martin Scorsese.
Oh, yes, the Scorsese era.
Yes.
Feels like every film that they made together was an instant classic.
I know, they're amazing.
Gangs of New York.
The Aviator, The Departed.
The Departed.
Just a phenomenal winning streak.
Yeah, their creative synergy is just undeniable.
I think so, too. I mean, Scorsese is known for his gritty realism and complex characters.
Right.
And DiCaprio just thrives in that environment. He's able to explore those darker roles, the more morally ambiguous characters.
Right.
And it really brought out a whole other side of his acting ability.
And, those Scorsese films weren't always box office smashes.
No, they weren't, but
they earned him multiple Oscar nominations.
They did.
It's like he was willing to sacrifice, mainstream success.
I think you're right.
For the chance to work with this master filmmaker and create really impactful art.
I think that's a great observation. I mean, he wasn't afraid to take risks.
Yeah.
To push himself outside of his comfort zone, and that dedication to his craft ultimately led him to that long-awaited Oscar win.
The suspense was real for years.
Oh, tell me about it.
So many nominations, so much buzz, but that golden statue remained just out of reach.
Just out of reach.
And then came The Revenant.
Yes.
And that was a performance for the ages.
Intense, right?
Talk about intense.
I mean, he completely immersed himself in that role, enduring those grueling physical conditions and pushing himself to the absolute limit. And, some critics even argued that the film was style over substance.
Right.
But what do you think makes his performance stand out?
Well, for me, it's the raw emotion that he brought to the role. I mean, you could feel every ounce of Hugh Glass's pain determination, his will to survive.
He didn't just act the part, he lived it. And that level of commitment is rare.
Yeah.
And it finally earned him the recognition that he deserved.
It did. But DiCaprio's story isn't just about Hollywood accolades.
No.
There's another dimension to his life that's equally impressive, if not more so.
That's right. His dedication to environmental activism.
Yeah, this isn't just a hobby for him.
No.
It's a lifelong passion.
It is. And he founded the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation way back in 1998.
Wow.
Long before going green was a trend in Hollywood.
Yeah, we'll definitely dive deeper into his activism later.
Yes.
But it's clear that this isn't just about, DiCaprio attaching his name to a cause.
Right.
This is about real, tangible action.
He's making a real difference.
Yeah.
And it's inspiring to see. It's fascinating how DiCaprio's environmentalism seems to be woven into his career choices.
Yeah.
Even back in The Beach, when he was filming in Thailand. Right. He actually voiced concerns about the impact the production was having on the local environment.
You know what? I remember reading about that.
Yeah.
And it seems like that experience might have been a turning point for him.
It's possible, yeah.
Just kind of raising his awareness of these issues even further.
Yeah, and you can see that awareness reflected in his later work.
Yeah.
Both in his acting choices and in the documentaries that he's produced.
Right.
For example, Before the Flood.
Yes.
That wasn't just a celebrity-endorsed project.
Right.
He was deeply involved in every aspect of that film, interviewing experts, traveling to impacted regions.
Yeah.
And really using his platform to educate and inspire action.
It wasn't just a vanity project.
No.
It felt like a genuine call to action.
It did.
Like he was saying, look, this is real.
Yeah.
And we need to do something about it.
Exactly. And this goes beyond, celebrity endorsement.
Right.
DiCaprio actively uses his platform to give a megaphone to those who've been fighting for the environment for years. Scientists, activists, indigenous communities.
Yeah.
What do you think about that strategy?
I mean, I think it definitely raises awareness.
Yeah.
But I think some people might be a little cynical about celebrity activism.
Sure.
They might see it as just another publicity stunt.
That's a valid point. I mean, I understand that cynicism, but I think DiCaprio's actions speak louder than words.
Right.
He's not just talking about it.
Yeah.
He's putting his time, his money, and his influence behind these causes.
Right.
I mean, he's donated millions of dollars to support conservation efforts and has consistently used his platform to advocate for policy changes.
Yeah. It's easy to be cynical when you see so many celebrities, hop in on the latest trend.
I know.
But DiCaprio has been consistently advocating for the environment for decades.
He has, and that consistency lends credibility to his message.
Right.
It's not just a fleeting interest, it's a core value that seems to drive a lot of his decisions.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of his commitment to working with Scorsese.
Oh, yeah?
Even though those films weren't always blockbuster hits,
Right.
they were critically acclaimed, and they really pushed him as an actor.
It's like he's choosing projects that align with his values.
Exactly.
Both in his acting career and his activism.
Yeah.
It's not about the fame or the money.
No.
It's about making a difference.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
It is.
It makes you wonder if we could all be a bit more conscious of our choices.
Right.
And how they impact the world around us.
It's like he's setting an example.
Yeah.
Showing that even someone with his level of fame and fortune can still prioritize making a positive impact.
And that's a powerful message,
It is.
It shows that we all have a responsibility, regardless of our circumstances, to do what we can to make the world a better place.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the highlights of DiCaprio's career and activism.
Yeah,
But no journey is without its bumps in the road.
that's true.
He was nominated for 6 acting Oscars before he finally won.
I know, it's a lot.
How do you think those near misses shaped him?
That's a great question. I imagine it was a roller coaster of emotions.
Yeah.
Disappointment, frustration, maybe even some self-doubt at times.
Right.
But he never gave up, He kept pushing himself, taking on those challenging roles, refining his craft.
It must have been so tempting to take the easy route.
Oh, yeah.
Stick with the romantic comedies and cash in on that heartthrob status.
Oh, totally.
But he never did.
No, he didn't. It's like he knew he was capable of more.
Yeah.
And he wasn't satisfied with just being a pretty face. He wanted to be respected as an artist.
Right.
And that meant taking risks and pushing boundaries.
And that determination paid off.
It did.
He finally won that Oscar for The Revenant.
Yes.
A role that demanded everything from him physically, emotionally, mentally.
Oh, yeah.
It must have been incredibly gratifying to finally achieve that recognition.
Oh, I'm sure it was. But even beyond the awards, I think what's most impressive is his longevity.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been a major star for over 3 decades.
Oh.
And he's still going strong.
That's a testament to his talent and his ability to adapt.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's gone from teen idol to dramatic actor to Oscar winner, and he's done it all with grace and integrity.
He has, and he's managed to navigate, the treacherous waters of Hollywood.
Yeah.
While staying true to his values and his passion for making a difference.
And let's not forget the personal sacrifices that come with that level of fame.
Oh, yeah.
The constant scrutiny, the lack of privacy.
It's a lot. It can't be easy.
No, it can't. You're right. There's a human cost to fame, especially in the age of social media.
Yeah.
But it seems like DiCaprio has found a way to compartmentalize,
Right.
to separate his public persona from his private life.
And maybe that's the key to his longevity.
It could be.
He's managed to find a balance between his passion for his craft, his commitment to activism, and his need for personal space. It's interesting, though, even with all the success, all the fame, DiCaprio still seems to be searching for something more.
There's this quote from the biography that really stuck with me.
Okay.
It talks about how he's always been fascinated by real-life stories, by people who lived extraordinary lives, who made a difference in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's something about that I think is really telling.
Well, think about the roles he's chosen. Howard Hughes in The Aviator, J. Edgar Hoover and Edgar Hugh Glass in The Revenant.
Right.
These are all complex, driven individuals who left a mark on history.
It's like he's drawn to those stories.
Yeah.
Maybe even trying to understand something about himself through them.
I think so.
Maybe he's searching for his own legacy.
It's possible.
His own way to make a lasting impact beyond the world of entertainment.
And perhaps he's found that in his environmental work.
Maybe.
It's not just about acting. It's about using his platform to advocate for a cause he deeply believes in.
Right.
He's not just entertaining. He's trying to inspire change.
Yeah. It is inspiring to see someone with his level of fame use it for something so much bigger than himself.
Absolutely.
He could easily just relax and enjoy, the fruits of his labor.
Oh, yeah. He could just kick back.
But he's choosing to use his influence to make a difference.
He is. And it's a reminder that we all have the power to make a difference.
Yeah.
No matter how big or small our platform may be.
Right.
DiCaprio's story shows that it's not about waiting for the perfect opportunity.
Yeah.
It's about using whatever resources we have to create positive change.
And it's not just about those grand gestures either.
No.
It can be about the small everyday choices.
Right.
Being more conscious of our consumption, supporting sustainable businesses, speaking up for what we believe in.
Absolutely.
It all adds up.
It does.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yeah.
what's the one takeaway you hope our listeners walk away with?
I hope they're inspired by his story.
Yeah.
By his commitment to his craft, his unwavering dedication to his values, and his courage to use his platform to make a difference.
It's been a fascinating journey.
It has.
Exploring the life and work of a man who's much more than just a Hollywood star.
Absolutely.
He's an artist, an activist, and an inspiration.
He's proof that even in a world obsessed with fame and fortune, it's still possible to live a life of purpose and meaning.
And that's a message worth sharing.
It is.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be back soon with another fascinating exploration.
Looking forward to it.
Until then, keep questioning, keep learning, and keep making a difference.